Today I wanted to do a really quick video just to follow up on the my Distant Drums Floribunda Rose that I pruned a couple of weeks ago. I believe the video posted a week or two ago. So it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I did prune them, and I wanted to show you what they look like now. They're not blooming yet. It will take more time for them to fill out and bloom, but they do have a lot of new growth, and I wanted to show you how that new growth looks, especially and kind of talk you through why we pruned the way we did and showing you the new growth and how it's going to grow, and why we did the fall pruning to begin with. So I will just quickly show you my two Distant Drums roses, and you can see all the new growth. I will do a follow-up video when it is blooming again. So I will show you my roses. So I wanted to show you how my rose looked 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks since I pruned this guy, and I just wanted to show you how it was doing. Fairly well. It's got a lot of new growth here. New growth, new growth, new growth, lots of new growth. And you can see I made the cut here, made this cut here, and you can see most of the new growth is centered around where I made that cut. So you can see why it's important to make a good cut, a good spot where it's sturdy, so you can get this new growth supported off of it. If we had kept all of the other junky layers on, we would just get bunches of new growth off of that, and it wouldn't have been nice and stable. There wouldn't have been enough room for it to grow. And as you saw, we did have a very, very hot summer, and so a lot of that growth didn't look the best either. So this is why we do our fall pruning, to get it ready to bloom again, because at the end of all of these shoots, there is going to be a bloom. And you can see how, because we opened it up, this new growth has somewhere to go. I think it's yet still a bit warm, because the growth isn't as pretty as I would like it yet, but it should cool down and hopefully put on really good new blooms. You can see this down here is pretty good. This kind of got crispy here, so it's still kind of hot out, but that's okay. That is a-okay. So this looks pretty good. New foliage is looking good. And you can see here I kind of left like a spindlier cane and gave it a cut, and it has 3 growing out of it. It's okay, but in the future I could have decided to cut it back a bit further. That way I didn't have all of this getting kind of messy. But that's what it looks like 2 weeks later, so we should be in good shape here in a couple more weeks. This is the other Distant Drums. I believe I pruned this off camera, but I wanted to show you how this one looks. I pruned it at the same time as the other one, and this is the one that gets more afternoon shade. I did do a video comparing the two. So if you want to see how they did comparative to each other over the summer, with one getting more shade and the other not, go ahead and check that video out. But I did want to show you this one because it does have a lot of really good new growth. I think it's staying cooler over here, so it's getting more growth. It's getting you can see it probably started growing a bit earlier because it's longer. And you can see here, this will be a bloom, so it still has to develop, but that is the starting of a new bud. Here, these have buds starting to form on them, so hopefully they get nice and big. You can see here with this foliage, it's deeper and greener, which is what we want. all of this looks really good. So this guy should bloom sooner than the other one. You can see these blooms are still quite small. I'll update you again when this guy looks, when it's full of nice, big, pretty blooms. But I wanted to show you kind of how and why we prune back and what it's going to do and how the plant's going to look after you prune it back.